and we share the common goal. Why should government share files using WhatsApp? Why should government rely on foreign softwares to communicate? We live in an age or in an era where we see corporate espionage. Government of foreign countries are coming in to take information from us. So if you have been in the private practice like us, right, we have seen where we have deployed softwares for private organizations, and the funders of those software need the data back to their country. As a matter of fact, they want the data to reside. So this brought a great concern to us. A country as big as Nigeria, a country where all African countries depend on us for everything. We use technology from foreign countries, such as telecom. The MTN is there to take out information. The banking system is there to take information. If you look across all the sectors, there is always an indication of corporate espionage. So we thought within ourselves that we could do something far better than what we have. So that committee was set up in Air Force. We did reviews back and front, and after a while, we started with software. So we feel that the main anchor of the Defcomm should be the software because it resides on the device. But as time goes on, we extended our technology to the hardware. So there is a need for the hardware. Now, if you look at Defcomm, you look at iPhone, you look at Android phone, you ask what is the difference between these phones. For us here, we give what is called absolute privacy and security. You want to make a call and you feel secure. You want to share a file and you feel secure. So we came up with our file sharing system. You have absolute control to own the product or own your file. Today, if you share a file on WhatsApp, the file keeps circulating all around, right? But with Defcomm, the original owner of the files have absolute control of the file, and it grants permission to whoever requests.
Background of the story, but when you hear Defcomm, what does it really mean? So I'm going to start with you, CEO, to tell us, what was the inspiration behind the name and why Defcomm?
Okay, thank you. So Defcomm simply means defense communication. So as I said earlier in my speech, we saw a need and we breached in that need. If you have been around the security sector, I'm sure you have seen most of the people you will communicate with, they will ask you, let's use WhatsApp. Why WhatsApp? The thing is, because we see end-to-end encryption on WhatsApp, we trust it. Yes, you should trust it, but again, do you know where the information lies? Again, in my little year of cyber investigation, there are cases when a subpoena could be written to retrieve information when it's necessary, right? So for us, we have built a product that we give the data to the owner of the data, control the data, own the data, right? So that is what all Defcomm does. You own the system belongs to you. You own your data, you control who have access to your data, right? Where the data should reside. And that's all. That's why Defcomm is here.
So you just said something, because every time you speak about end-to-end encryption, my mind goes to WhatsApp, like you said. And you've asked a very critical question, where is the data stored? So for Defcomm, are we talking about increased capacity on the hardware device? Or are we talking about a cloud technology? Because even for Defcomm, I want to believe that the data is somewhere still. Where is it? That's the question we're asking. And do we have the privilege to know where this data will be stored?
Thank you very well. So again, we have our software which has to do with end-to-end encryption. Now, if you have used a smartphone, like an Android or an iOS phone, you could plug your phone, right? And plug it into a system and you could access all your files. Am I right? Okay. When it comes to Defcomm, that cannot work. So in Defcomm, as you see, the encryption is on the device and on the software, on that day. So let me tell you the key features of the hardware itself, right? If you look at the hardware, if you look at the serial port, we totally separated the serial port cable from the operating system itself. So if you plug in a foreign cable into it, the system automatically wipes up the device. It encrypts the files and wipes it up, right? One. Then on the operating system itself, right, we did our end-to-end encryption module, right? Those data reside on the phone, right, with encrypted keys. And it can only be exchanged when the other device that also have the key does an handshake. Otherwise, it resides on the phone. And if for any reason that device gets missing, right, it has a dashboard. You can just remotely wipe out everything. Yeah.
Sounds very interesting. So I'll bring you in on the conversation now. Some of the keywords that come up, with Defcomm are keywords like shield messages, right? Talking about, enhancing communication security through this phone. Can you throw some light on some of these new keywords and how, they work on the device?
All right, thank you very much. Once again, it's my pleasure to be here. Part of the features it mentioned about shield messaging. We are all aware of how our messages move around. You don't have full control of who is accessing what. So we came up with a system whereby there's independency of who sees what. How do you share the messages? And you talked about encrypted systems. You can determine who sees what. He cannot share with anybody. If he attempts to share it, he alerts the admin. And it's either the message is deleted or the device gets blocked. So you take full control of your calls, your messages, file sharing. Because we are all aware of how information has been leaking even in the theaters and operational areas. You say something, the next thing is on social media. We want that independency of our security agencies, our government agencies, to be rest assured of whatever they share still remains within the military space or the government circles. So these are part of the features: file sharing, encrypted messages, the encrypted keys that no one can access. If anyone attempts it, it destroys the phone. So you can determine, even within a space, you can determine who sees what. What are access privileges? You can also grant access privileges to individuals within the space, within the community, or within the force. So all those features are part of what makes it unique from the regular ones you have around.
Okay, just for me to add to what Mr. Kwe said. Now, if you look at your WhatsApp, for example, when you are typing a message, if someone is at your back, you could read the message. In cyber security, we call it shoulder sniffing, right? So on the device, you can set how messages are read and viewed, right? So I can drag to view, I can shake the phone to view, right? I can push up and down to view. By default, every message that comes into the phone comes asterisks, right? So even when you drop your phone, somebody tries to read the message, right? He can't even read it because it needs a pattern which you, the original owner, have set. So that's how the shield technology comes about. You shield every type of message that comes through your device, right? And that shield message can only be interpreted by the original owner of the device.
I don't know about everyone here, but I have a feeling that many husbands will like this phone. Not just security agents, husbands concerning their wives, checking phones, and wives concerning their husbands. Well, I see that as a further business opportunity, maybe a model that we'll look at for the future. But let's talk about, the integrating factor, talking about how, to what extent can other applications that are not from your technology be used on this particular device? Can I connect to Apple Store, Google Store? Can I use the phone regularly, like a regular phone? Can I use it like that? And what does that entail?
Okay, thank you. Okay, so if you have studied Apple or Android phones, you see most of the compromise that's done as a result of third-party apps being installed on the phone. So as a step further, we have developed the Defcomm stores. So we believe that every of defense application will be launched through that Defcomm stores, so that we have absolute control of what comes into the phone, right? It to be verified and put it there. On the phone itself, does not even have Android Play Store because it's totally out. We only have Defcomm Play Store, right? Now, that helps us control the operating system and control the apps that are within that, right? So that's what we have just done. We are taking out apps that you don't need, right? We have all the apps you need on the Play Store. Take, for example, we have a app deployed, for example, to honor the fallen heroes. It could be a gallery app on our Play Store, on the Defcomm Store, right? We have an email system we are introducing, like a Microsoft 365 on that device. Are you getting me? So everything is going to be based on what our partners want. We'll build the apps and reside there. So we control what goes in, other than taking softwares. So as a matter of fact, on the device, you can't even put any software, right? Because as I said earlier, the serial port is automatically locked, right? On the normal USB, if you plug it and you try to copy stuff, it does, but this, it does not even work, right? Now, if you need it to work, we have a firmware, right, which we build and authenticate user, meaning that you have to set up your own password for you to have access to that device through a system. But for security reasons, we tend to keep that. All softwares will come from the Defcomm stores. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll direct this one to you. Let's talk about the ability to retrieve a missing Defcomm device, for instance. What provisions have been made? Can you remotely wipe your information? Can you find my phone, for instance, with another device? How does it work with retrieving a missing device?
All right, thank you very much. Our major focus, one of our major focus anyway, is to give an individual full control of information that is being shared. If peradventure your device gets missing, whoever picks up that device, it's useless to him. If you try to even plug in the wrong cable, it wipes out the phone. So it's not a phone or a device that you can go somewhere else to try to retrieve. If a device is missing, the user will have to contact the admin. So a new one is set up for him. So there is no an option of find me, because we want everything controlled. Everyone should have access, full control of whatever they are sharing, and in a secured environment. And that's one of the essence of Defcomm, to give everyone, whatever you're sharing out is secured. There's nobody that can hack into your system. All is encrypted. Anyone that picks it up is useless to him.
Thank you so much. I'd like to give the audience an opportunity in case you have a question to send towards our panelists this afternoon. You could just indicate. I've been told I have the opportunity for one question. And so I'll just, okay, more than one. It can be one. All right, so we'll take a few questions.
Okay, thank you so much. Can I sit? Great idea, great innovation. I'm happy that this is coming at this time. I'm already looking forward to a time when this will be the in thing for everyone, not just the defense or security ecosystem, but the general populace at large. So my question is very direct. I just want to have an idea of what your infrastructure looks like from end to end. That means from the devices that will be accessing the info or will be used for communication, and the control system that will be handling all the security and control aspect of the data. Then the second one is you've been able to explain that your system is close, but with a little opportunity for being open to be used with other open system. So I want to find out, how do you integrate what you are proposing now with existing systems that we have? That is a very, very important question, because you don't expect us to jettison all the investments that we have made before. So we want to see, is it possible for you to integrate, or is it possible to integrate what you are proposing now?
So we are here to provide that support. So again, when it comes to support, as we speak, right, our engineers keep building system on a daily basis and provide that support update on a daily basis. We do that. Number two, we have the technology on cloud and in-house, right? So take, for example, you want to host your user management, all those stuff in your in-house. The system can handle that, right? We give you a system, a server requirement, and then, of course, the security requirement we need, and that can be handled. Have I answered that, sir? Two. Now, the other aspect was, I think you did talk of integration. Yes. Now, we are not building a system to lock the existing system out. No. The whole essence of this technology is to be able to integrate other existing technology in Nigeria into it. I'll give you an example. Google for itself gives you everything and takes everything back from you. Right? Now, we are also extending our hands to a company that are already building a local-based search engine, right? Because we need people using this phone to work everything local, not foreign. So we control the data we want and all that, right? So in terms of integration with other existing system, absolutely open, right? For you to integrate your system on it, right? But we have a protocol, right? Which is always a necessary factor that this is what we accept, and you must meet that requirement just to guide against compromises, right? That's one aspect. Then when it comes to how our technology works, right? I might not be able to dive into it much, but I'm going to scratch the surface for you. Now, we have a user management system. For example, the way Defcomm works is, I can't just get a Defcomm and call anybody, right? It should be a group of network for people that communicate, secure communication within these people. So I talk frequently with these people on operation matters, right? This set of people are onboarded on the system. Take, for example, even when we plug this Defcomm. At the initial instance, we put it on Play Store, right? For you to use Defcomm, the administrator must invite you, right? And the second command must approve. So you can't just pick up Defcomm and register. It's not going to work. So we build that system, the user management, to handle that. Now, when it comes to the encryption system, trust me, we have done our work. We won't come out in the public, right, and tell you what we have not done. If you have looked across all aspects of cybersecurity, Silex has been there. We started the company by training the first, when cybersecurity started in Nigeria, cybersecurity Footmina, the company was the first company that trained the cybersecurity students. We were guest lecturers for over 2-3 weeks. We have Anchor Cybersecurity Challenge. We have our ISOs, right, for cybersecurity drills. If you go online, search for Operation Lafia Dole CTF. We build those CTF to encourage people in the hacking sector, right, in the cybersecurity sector. So when it comes to security, yes, we can't give you everything, but be rest assured. And that's why we are here with you, right? At any point in time, you get through to us. We are here to handle whatever it takes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm still AVM Shinkafi, the Director of Technical Services at DIA. I really congratulate Silex Skill for this achievement. It's wonderful. And that's why I'm here to represent the CDI. It's a good initiative and effort, especially coming from a homegrown experts like you. Fundamentally, there are some things I observe. Since I intend to leave by 12 o'clock, I should be able to drop them, this thing. In engineering design, there are some fundamental things that must be put into perspective. I don't know the efforts you put in the past, but the agitations and the questions being raised shows that there is little user input with regards to this solution. Now, fundamentally, cut across all the agencies, the military and other security agencies, the existing systems, infrastructure, you cannot replace it. There is no how. It will take more than 10 years to replace them, even if we want to do. Therefore, I was expecting much of the effort will be on the software than the hardware, so that we can use our existing systems, our computers, and other communication gadgets to integrate the solution. But I could see much of the emphasis is on the hardware, and the confidence on the hardware is even little. We have the confidence level, reliability is higher on the software than the hardware. Because this phone, where is it produced? Could you be sure that there is no back end inside? That is the question. And somebody raised the fundamental question about the cloud, the data center. Where is it? We have our own data center. Those small may not carry all of this thing. Can the user, like the military, the armed forces, we have our own data center so that our data can be domiciled in our data center? Can that be integrated? That thing can be built into the system. That's why I say, let me drop this input. If you had user this engagement earlier, much of that would have come out. But by and large, it's a good effort. There is also the issue of flexibility. I saw that if there is an attempt for intrusion, everything is wiped out. The man has not lost anything, the intruder, but we have lost this thing. Some of this information are a matter of life and death and has to be communicated within that minute or within that hour. I hope you are getting the point. So those are some of the things we need to look at critically. Then there is what we call man in the loop in every system. Did you notice the presentation has not talked about it at all, except that where there is an intrusion and this thing. There is need for these your handsets to be passed around, if there is need for training and trials. I can tell you there is a solution for this clean air traffic listing, which I personally participated in. The trial was over 5 years. Feedback coming from government organizations, industries like Boeing, Airbus, all of them, and universities in Europe and United States. By and large, most of the things I have here, the speaker before me have stated them. I really am happy with this development, and personally, I will convince the CDI at our own end in DI, we are going to encourage you very well. We will be critical to this solution if we get these phones and we'll put them onto test and share our concerns or suggestions.
Because we are not the end users. But what we want to do is create that platform. This is just the foundation. With your own commitment and inputs, definitely we'll have a product that we all as Nigerians will be proud that this is our own local secure communication systems that can compete favorably anywhere in the world. So I think with the right encouragement, sir, this will just be the starting point. And we'll say thank you very much, sir.
How do legacy systems also interpret with this it's something that we're taking. One of the things they've done, sir, that's so amazing in the last 7 or 10 years. For somebody like me from aerospace engineering sector, where our approach to complex systems is the use of MBSE, model-based systems engineering. That's what their approach has been. You know, they look at the prevailing traditional systems in terms of digitization and digitalization, and in the last 7 or 10 years, my colleague is here too, in the last 7 or 10 years, they worked around issues concerning secured messaging, secured communication, secured video, you get it? Or what the US will call C4 ISR, which is about command, control, communication, computers, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance. They don't joke with it. And the truth of the matter is, if this company is in years today, I can assure you that within the next 2-3 years, they become a unicorn. And when I say unicorn is no longer just a startup. It is a company that has a capitalization and value of over $1 billion from what they've done so far. It's something I was actually monitoring all that they've been doing, and it's amazing. Somebody like me, if I'm traveling, I carry my 10,000 amps power bank. I don't plug my phones on airport, wherever, ports and all of that. A lot happens there. You get it? If I buy a mobile phone, the screen goes bad and I'm taking it anywhere, China or even the Zone 2 we have here, I must stay and make sure that phone is fixed. If it is not fixed, they don't have the model, I go back with my phone. It's happened with my A54 phone recently. They don't have that. I went back with it. A lot, big data. People are making money from data. They espionage your data and all of that. And that's what they've done on this platform. Separation of the communication module from the panel board itself. Just like also when we built our satellite in China, we have a ground station in China, but what we have in China does not see the payload. My friend Pajok is here. Again, he was with us in China. You get it? The control in China does not see the payload of the satellite. What sees the payload is from here. That's part of the things they've done. But the next level, what is the next level? Aside issue of retrofit of existing legacy systems, then of course licensing the software firmware and also trials, Proof of success, you get it? It doesn't stop. Proof of concept, trials, field trials, because a lot of feedback, you get it, look, comes in there. Field trials on the walkie-talkie, there are a lot of versions there, you get it. So the ones that support it, fine. The ones that does not support, you actually secure them away from, you get it, what you are putting together. So it's about licensing, collaborating, then of course, support, continuous support, then in fact, engagement. Now the next level we are looking at also from model-based system engineering is to be able to ensure this device supports communication beyond terrestrial, anywhere, in the middle of desert, in the air, in the middle of the ocean, particularly for the naval sector. Then of course in the air, talking about aircraft, you have assets and all of that. You get it anywhere. And now what comes in here is SATCOM, communication satellite system. Part of the challenges we've had in the past is issue of what we call technically passive intermodulation, PIM, with distant communication satellite. You get it? Aside, of course, today you have the LEO communication system, the MEO, you get it, like the Starlink, Global Star, but the biggest challenge, which also was sorted perfectly by Asia, you get it, I'm in support of the Asians, you get it, we learned what we learned, you get it, that now enable us to now be on the same table of brotherhood with our brothers in the Europe, because they know you're bringing something on the table. Yeah, so they are actually the first that tackled issue of PIM with a 36,000 kilometer away device, communication satellite, that's why you have it. And this apparently was actually necessitated by the challenge of landslide, mudslide they had one time that actually eroded all of the terrestrial infrastructure they had. You get it? Then the head of Chinese police bureau body challenged engineers and academicians who were equivalent to ministers to come up with solutions in enabling communication, you get it, at a distant 36,000 kilometers. Because one good thing about geosatellite is coverage of entire Chinese territory, or 1/3 of the Earth's surface using one satellite. And they were able to do it. Because what passive means actually is not intermodulation caused by active device like your power amplifiers, but issues caused by passive devices like your antenna, you get it, like your filter, you get it. They are not electrified. But the material component and erosion causes noise and intersymbol. But they were able to use composite materials, precious metals to sort those challenges. And today, as I speak to you, communication now is enabled almost everywhere using communication satellite. You get it, inclusion also bringing ant algorithm technology on handshake of satellites. Shinkafi will understand that too, because he's also from satellite background. You get it, how to hand over handshake from one device to the other. All of this has been sorted. So the next level for us is enabling satellite communication on this device such that where terrestrial infrastructure does not exist, satellite takes over autonomously. Thank you very much.
Again, this is our design of Defcomm, right here with you. And if you look at this, we have what is called a killer switch here. So the killer switch, what it does is things like your microphone listening to you, right? Things like your camera listening to you remotely, and things like your location, picking up location, the killer switch does that. So the killer switch separates the system directly from the software, right? In other case, you have to go through your software for you to turn off all this stuff. So in this one, you kill it off. So whenever you're having your private meetings, you just kill it off. Now, this was born as a reason of, in the recent trends where family discuss, and when they pick up their phone, they see what they're discussing on Google when they try to search, right? So it kills all those stuff. Now, if you look at the body also, if you ever make attempt to open this phone, it's going to lock the entire phone, right, on it. Now, you have the emergency button whenever you're in distress. And this is a key concern because when you're on emergency, probably you're thinking of calling someone, so you hit the switch. So we are expanding this on a satellite base. I'm sure that's why Dr. Lasisi is brought in here, right? So that at anywhere in the world, you could hit your key switch and we could get the coordinate and a rescue team comes to you. Now, if you look at the cable, this is what the cable looks like. It has a two serial mouth here. So when we are doing your testing, which we will share this with you, you could try to break into the system, but I will assure you 100% you won't be able to do that. I will assure you that. Because if you have done offensive hacking, one of the things is you want to get connectivity back to the device first before you try to intrude. But in this case, just a plug to a system does not even recognize it, turns it to a charging point, right? This is all what Defcomm looks. Now, the amazing thing is, I'm turning off the phone in a minute. From the boot system sequence, right, is totally rooted and handled by us. Now, the hardware, as you know, we don't produce hardware in any way. Yes. So the hardware was produced by our partners and sent down to us. The firmware, everything you think of that works on the software is designed by Silex Secure on it, including the famous watermark technology. So take, for example, whenever you try to, you drop your phone or you share a file. So once I share a file and it comes to Mr. Okwe's device, it takes his watermark. So if his watermark is his name or his staff ID, it does that, right? And if you try to use any other device to snap that, right, it pulls up the watermark and shows you, my friend, when you are snapping this, know that this information was leaked from this guy. So it gives people that form of security that all my files are safe and secure, right? So the right from the wallpapers down to all the booting sequence, all the designs were carefully designed by our UI UX team, and up to the point of the firmware update, everything is done here right with us in Abuja, not even in Kaduna or Lagos, right here. So we are just at your corner step. And if you want us to be in your office, we also work directly from your office. So you don't need to do a remote work there. Thank you so much. So this is Defcomm for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I was just telling him that shortly we'll be approaching offices with a sample of this for trials. Because feedback is necessary. We have worked from not fully 100% informed, but I think we have succeeded in creating a baseline, giving us something we can all work with. We can all say at least now we have things that, in terms of secure communications, we have company that we can work with. So a lot of people have ideas, but nothing has been put to work. We are thanking God that today we are here to create that foundation, every other thing, because definitely organizations, procedures changes, or is different. The Army need might be different from the Air Force need. But here we are, because technologies are local, the team is local, we can work independently of your specifications. What are the models you wanted, are there features you want, can also be incorporated into the devices. Thank you very much.
You have left other things to attend to this, and we do not take it lightly. So please, we are very grateful and want to thank all our stakeholders, the partners, and participants who made this event a memorable one. Finally, on behalf of the management and staff of Silex Secure Lab, I would like to thank all of us present here for making our time amidst our busy schedule to be here today and helping us make this launch, Defcomm, not just a success, but a grand success. I think we deserve an applause for that. Thank you so much for being here. We are grateful, and let me end with this. Defense and security, likewise ICT, are horizons that are filled with limitless possibilities, and as such, it's a partnership I think should continue. So on behalf of every other one, please thank you so much, and you're once again welcome.